Last train down. He went down into the subway long after midnight, when the city no longer made noise and only breathed, slowly, tiredly, through ventilation grates and cracks in the pavement. The entrance had been sealed for years, welded doors, torn warning signs, faded notices no one bothered to read. But the lock was broken recently. The metal around it was still scratched and bright, as if someone had forced it open in a hurry or escaped. He told himself he wouldn't go far. Just a quick look, a few photos, and back out. Abandoned metro stations had become urban folklore, and he considered himself rational enough not to believe in stories about ghost trains and vanished people. Still, the moment the turnstiles were behind him and his flashlight caught the escalator descending into darkness, something felt wrong. The escalator was turned off, yet there was a strange sensation of motion, as if the steps were slowly carrying him down even while standing still. The deeper he went, the quieter the world became. First, the city vanished. Then even his footsteps seemed to dissolve, swallowed by the air before reaching his ears. The sound didn't echo, it simply stopped existing. At some point, he realized he could no longer hear his own breathing. He placed a hand on his chest, feeling his lungs move, and panic rose sharply. The silence was not empty. It was attentive. The platform greeted him with emptiness. It looked wrong in a subtle way, too clean, untouched by dust or decay. No trash, no collapsed ceiling tiles, no signs of abandonment. The electronic sign above the tracks was dark, but as he stepped forward, it flickered to life with a dull yellow glow. Letters appeared slowly, one by one, as if deciding whether to be seen. Train arriving. He froze. The line had been officially shut down after an accident years ago, an incident buried in reports, reduced to numbers and compensation. No trains were supposed to exist here. He approached the edge of the platform and aimed his flashlight into the tunnel. The darkness there was thick, almost resistant, as if the beam weakened inside it. And then he heard it, a hum. At first faint, almost imagined, then unmistakable. A vibration every subway rider knew, echoing through bone and concrete. The sound grew louder, but the tunnel remained empty. Then lights appeared in the distance. A train emerged slowly, its headlights dull, its metal body scarred and old. It looked outdated, from another era, its windows glowing softly like tired eyes. It stopped perfectly at the platform. The doors slid open with a familiar mechanical sigh that sounded far too loud in the silence. Inside, there were no passengers. The car was lit, clean, untouched. No trash, no graffiti, no forgotten bags. The air felt stale, like a room that had been sealed for decades. He hesitated, heart pounding, every instinct telling him to leave. But curiosity, and something else, something subtle, pulled him forward. He stepped inside. The doors closed behind him on their own. The train began to move. At first, everything felt normal. The vibration beneath his feet, the rhythmic sound of rails, the gentle sway of the car. But when he looked out the window, his stomach tightened. The tunnel didn't change. The same wall, the same cables, the same cracks repeated endlessly, like a looping image. The train was moving, but space itself wasn't. Reflections began to appear in the glass. At first, he thought they were tricks of the light. Then he realized the reflections did not match his movements. Shapes stood behind him, blurred figures, human outlines, too still to be alive. When he turned around, the car was empty. When he looked back at the window, the figures were closer. The sign inside the train flickered. Next station. The name appeared slowly, letter by letter. It was his name. Panic surged through him. He slammed his hand against the doors as the train slowed. They opened, and he stumbled onto another platform, gasping for air he could suddenly hear again. The train departed behind him without a sound, swallowed by the tunnel as if it had never been there. This station was different, narrower. The walls felt closer, the ceiling lower. The lights flickered unevenly. Direction signs pointed everywhere and nowhere at once. No matter which corridor he chose, it curved back toward the platform, toward the tracks. toward the waiting darkness. A voice echoed through the station, calm and mechanical. "Mind the gap." He found another train already waiting. This time, the driver's cabin door was open. Inside, there was no one. No controls. Just an empty uniform suspended in the air, shaped as if someone were still wearing it. From inside the helmet came breathing, slow, steady, patient. The doors began to close. He understood then. The metro wasn't abandoned. It was operating exactly as intended. It carried those who went too deep, those who listened, those who stayed too long. The platform lights dimmed. The final announcement echoed softly, almost kindly. Doors closing. Next train arriving in 1 minute. And somewhere far below the city, the subway continued to run.